This is Paul Nathanson with the Policy Resolution Group at Bracewell, bringing you 2 minutes with one voice and an update from the nation's capital, brought to you by the National Tooling and Machining Association and the Precision Metal Forming Association. I'm going to spend my 2 minutes again talking about metal supply and tariffs. As I mentioned in my previous 2 minutes, there continues to be chaos in the metals market. Lead times for steel and aluminum and the red metals continues to grow and prices continue to climb. While terminating the Section 232 steel and aluminum tariffs won't solve all the problems in the steel market, it will help and one of the few levers that the government can pull to alleviate the situation. The Section 232 tariffs can be terminated by a stroke of President Biden's pen. But the Biden administration has taken a cautious approach in the way that they speak about trade policy. On March 4th, newly confirmed Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo said in an interview that all the tariffs in place would be reviewed, but that, quote, the data show that the Section 232 steel and aluminum tariffs have been effective. We're not sure what data Secretary Raimondo was talking about, but this week, our Coalition of American Metal Manufacturers and Users sent us a letter to the Secretary with information from numerous studies that show the continuing ineffectiveness of and damage from the Trump administration's Section 232 tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. Just a couple of examples. A study by the Federal Reserve Board of Governors indicates that increased input costs due to the tariffs are associated with 75,000 fewer jobs in the U.S. manufacturing sector. The study says that U.S. manufacturers would have been far better off with measured and targeted enforcement strategies that do not hurt the vast majority of the sector and its employees. Researchers from Columbia University, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and Princeton University found that the cost burden of these tariffs are in fact borne by U.S. manufacturers and consumers. And the American Action Forum published a study recently that found that, based on 2019 import levels, U.S. and retaliatory tariffs currently impact over $460 billion of imports and exports, and former President Trump's tariffs are increasing annual consumer costs by roughly $57 billion. The letter once again emphasizes that the problems caused by these Section 232 tariffs cannot be resolved through the Commerce Department's broken product exclusion process. In its 2018 report to President Trump recommending the steel and aluminum tariffs, the Commerce Department estimated that there would be 4,500 product exclusion requests from these tariffs. The actual number of exclusion requests now far exceeds 200,000 and growing, and the process has been plagued by delays, questionable decisions, and a complete lack of transparency. You can find a copy of the letter to Secretary Raimondo on our coalition's website, which is tariffsouretaxes.org. We continue to ask our manufacturers at NTMA and PMA to share your experience with the One Voice team. We need Washington to hear from the real world. We are confident that through continued advocacy, we can end the steel and aluminum tariffs and do so as quickly as possible. So please remember to support your NTMA and PMA who make this content possible and are your voice in Washington.